Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today I want to talk about the Eksa 600 mouse and how this mouse has a kind of a cool feature that's kind of unique that I've never seen, that it has a button for mouse control. And that's supposed to help you like aim and do like pinpoint precision for your accuracy. And we're gonna talk about how that feature works. And then we're also gonna talk about what makes a good mouse, because as a guy who reviews mouses, I'm kind of a critic, so I'm gonna let you know what my criteria are to make a good mouse. And then we're gonna do some comparisons, because I think comparisons are very important to understand what's good and what's bad. So I'm gonna compare the Eksa 500, which I previously thought is a really, really great mouse, to the Eksa 600, which is their newest mouse. As always, please like and subscribe down below. It really helps my videos out, and smashing that like button really helps me out. Anyways, let's talk about like the build, the features, the software and stuff, and then do the comparisons. All right, let's talk about the build of the Eksa 600. So the plastic, it has this like, I feel like it's more of like a RPG type of shape, but I think it's a little low on this part. I feel like the mouse could definitely use a little bit more height up here. I think most mouses I've used have more kind of latitude right there. So that's something about the shape that is not as unique for me or as great. And then it has a nice scroll wheel of the RGB, and then you have your DPI buttons up and down. We have the mouse control button, and then we have the forward backward buttons. And then under we have the RGB changing button, where you can click that to kind of cycle through your different RGBs, which is cool. There's quite a few options, I think. But I kind of like the rotating one. It's my favorite. I think it looks the best. Now let's talk about this mouse control button. This mouse control button is you push that down, and what happens is it's like almost like a super DPI switch, where, you know, if you're running at like 1600 and your mouse is moving quickly around, when you click it, it's like instead of your mouse moving fast, it just like slows down really slow, and helps you kind of aim really accurately if you hold on to it, and then you can release it and your DPI go back. So I think it's a feature that's quite interesting, and I feel like there probably is some applications, but for like the games I play, like Valorant and like FPS games, I was thinking like you could probably use that for like lineups when people like kind of prepare like shots from across the map using like certain things where they kind of look at items and then aim it and then shoot it. But besides that, like when you're actually like in combat and like shooting people, I feel like it's not really useful, because it kind of just changed. Like you should be able to get headshots without having to slow down your mouse to do that. So I feel like in that sense, this feature isn't useful. The good thing is though, that you can actually use the software and reprogram this to any other type of button. So you can just use that as like a third button. So that's a useful feature. Now, another thing about this mouse that, you know, the shape isn't really my favorite. I feel like it's a little big. The weight is something that's also interesting to talk about, because this is a heavier mouse in my opinion. I mean, it's not that heavy, but like compared to what people are buying nowadays on the market, it's like 91 grams. The other mouse that came previously is really lightweight. It's at 73 grams, which is really light. And then if you use the Logitech G Pro, this mouse is 79, 80 grams, so it's even lighter as well. And it's a wireless mouse, obviously, right? So this mouse is kind of a heavy boy in the grand scheme of things, so it doesn't really win points there. And then another thing is that the DPI button, so you can tell that this is not exactly what I could call the perfect mouse for me. So if you look at DPI buttons, it actually starts at 500 and goes to 1,000, 2,000, and then 3,000. It's just such a weird scale to use. Like a lot of mouses, like this one they previously made, do like 400, 800, 1,600, 3,200, like the normal like 400 increments. And so when I put this mouse on, I want 1,600. I know I want that. It works perfectly for me. But in this mouse, it starts at 500, 1,000, so it's already programmed wrong. So I can never get the right one unless I go into the software, and then you can manually change the speed, and then you can get it to be good, right? But then there's another issue is that the software also has a mouse speed setting that's separate from the DPI. And then it gets really confusing. But the mouse speed also changes how fast your mouse moves. And then it gets all confusing and wacky. And it's just like not intuitive or easy to use. Even the mouse speed setting would affect my Logitech mouse speed that was connected to it. So it was all kind of bad with that software. Like the settings are fine, they work, but they're confusing in the way they're laid out. And you have to go into the settings to fix the mouse and change things that you would, need to do. So it doesn't really, to me, work well out of the box. And I think those are all the things that I knock points on this. And really, if you can't tell already, I'm not really a fan of this mouse because there's so many things that are wrong with it versus like the prior mouse got it right. It's lightweight. The shape is like better too. Like if you look at the side profile of these, this Eksa 500 mouse is just much better shape. It's much more comfortable. I mean, the color, it looks better. The RGB looks better as well. The aesthetics, like the color, like mapping of the yellow with the white, like this one's just a lot better mouse. Like I don't understand how they went from here to here. It's like a whole different mouse. And to me, this mouse is $25. This is $15. This one is literally a no-brainer. For $15 for such a good mouse, I'm like, yeah, it literally does everything well. And this mouse, like it does have an extra button on top that this mouse doesn't. That's probably the only feature it has, but the button to me is kind of useless unless you want to program to something else. But yeah, the RGB on this is actually quite pretty. I do like it, but as I said, there's just so many things that you kind of have to fix with this mouse just to get to be working, in my opinion, or just to get up to speed for what I like. And I feel like for so much of a hassle for a mouse, I feel like I can't recommend a mouse like that. And overall, I feel like the gliding of this mouse as well, when I was kind of using it, it didn't feel consistent. And I feel like if you look at the legs of this mouse, it's kind of like missing a spot. It's actually carved out too right here. There's actually an indent. I just feel like the mouse didn't move uniformly side by side, because when I was playing Valorant and games, my aiming was just ever so slightly off. Like the mouse just didn't move as well as I thought it should. And it just was missing a lot of shots. Like I actually bottom fragged using this mouse. And that's how I know, like I actually tested this gaming mouse by, playing games. And I was just not doing well. I tried and tried, and I was just like, this mouse really should not be that hard. Like the first time I picked up this mouse, I absolutely destroyed kids. Like this mouse glide beautifully, smoothly. I just connected and this one, I'm just I'm literally at the bottom. I just hated it. I literally just get me out of this deathmatch game. Just get me out of this. Get this mouse out of my hand. Honestly, that's how I felt using it. I thank Eksa for sending this out for review, but I have to be honest with them, right? That's just how I feel about this mouse. So really, my conclusion from all of this is really, when I look for a good mouse, it has to work well outside the box. It has to have the right options. And this mouse kind of missed the mark in so many different ways. And so I definitely recommend the Eksa 500. It's cheaper and it's just so much better mouse than this one. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. It really helps my videos out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
I'm pulling a risky play here.
Get out of my way!
One enemy remaining.
Go play, boy.
Cutting through.